All right, so I have Michael Williams here who actually attended one of our HBCU Connect events with Microsoft, was recently hired on at Microsoft. So what I like to do is get the story, like the backstory, how you kind of interface with us, maybe where you went to school, and then kind of what happened, and what your current role is now. So let's start, man. If you could just introduce yourself and a little bit about your background, maybe where you went to school and that kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. My name is Michael William. I went to Jackson State University, which is a HBCU in Jackson, Mississippi. My background is computer science, software engineering, as well as cybersecurity. I started my career in 1998 when I graduated high school through basically 2011. I went to community college, undergrad, as well as grad school. So how I got introduced to HBCU Connect, I believe you contacted me one day about you guys' events, and I started attending several uh, events through HBCU Connect. And there was one I attended back on July of last year. Although they was more focused on software engineers at that time, I still attend the event, and I actually during that event, I had a touch base with one of the Microsoft recruiters, Jesse Sparks, during that event. So he contacted me after the event, and we actually had a quick touch base. And he basically wanted to know my skill sets and where I'm currently working and what I'm currently doing. And he got that information, and he asked me to send him an updated resume. And in September of last year, because this was in July when I attended the HBCU Connect event, in September of last year, I got invited to a hiring event that Microsoft was having. And in the hiring event, it was for technical program managers as well as senior program managers. So in that hiring event, I got the opportunity to go through, Microsoft process of interviewing, which is 4 hours. And also during the hiring event, I got to connect with a lot of different leaders, data scientists, technical program managers, as well as software engineers for the AI, cloud, and machine learning space. Doing that, the feedback I got was that they liked the well-roundedness that I had. They liked how I interviewed for the different various roles they had in that space, and of course, after that, I started hearing from different leaders within Microsoft, within the cloud AI and machine learning space about different openings and different opportunities that they have on their team. And following that, I heard from an actual team that was really considering me for the role that I have now in Microsoft, which is on the senior level as a technical program manager, where my day to day is I'm responsible for Azure fundamentals from a security, government risk and compliance, as well as a privacy perspective. So.
Okay, okay. So what was the time frame from when you first talked to Jesse after our event to the time that you got an offer? What was that time frame like?
Actually, that time frame, because I heard from Jesse back in, they had a hiring event in September.
Okay,
And I started hearing from different hiring managers actually 2 days after the hiring event.
okay,
And of course, it was up to me to determine which team I wanted to work on because there was
okay.
different managers I was hearing from. There was different teams that was giving their sales pitch and how they felt I would be a good asset as well as a good
Wow.
fit to their space. And so I went with the one that I knew that I can not only grow, but I knew I could come in and actually just hit the ground running. So that was the cognitive services engineering team that I currently work on, and our team focus around AI, machine learning, and cloud services. So I'm responsible for security,
Uh,
compliance, privacy around those different models that we have. And there are four models: their speech, their language, their decision, and their vision. So you have so many customers on so many platforms of
right.
those AI machine learning platforms that use these different models. And they use them in their own unique way. So I work with various engineers daily that support these different models to make sure that we are secure, there's not any vulnerability risk, make sure we are in compliance by the SEC regulation, and make sure that we're meeting the privacy laws, whether it's US or UK, Canada, Japan, Mexico, or China. To make sure that we're actually meeting those laws with the different machine learning AI models that various customers are using across uh, the world within Microsoft, whether it's US or international. So,
So how long did it take for you to make that decision? So you said you start getting hit up 2 days later, and
yeah,
they
2 days
inform you.
later after I did the interview, I started hearing from various hiring managers. And they were basically telling me, about the role, and they wanted me to meet with their teams. And of course, there's times for that because they have to find that time to meet
Right.
with the teams.
They got a little
I will
schedule.
say, yes, the scheduling for the team that I'm currently working with. When I talked to this hiring manager, he kind of eliminated a lot of that. He was like, "Well, I got the feedback I need from the people that I trust, and I know they interviewed you, so I don't want to actually take you through that again. You'll be hearing from the recruiter. Basically, what I want to do is actually present an offer to you where I can move forward, in the process." So
Right.
his
Right.
was a little different than the rest of them. So
Nice. And that's it.
yeah,
And that's the team that you work with now.
that's the team that I work with now. Yes, sir.
Awesome. So let me ask you this. So
Hmm.
your current role, you're a technical program manager,
Yes, sir.
and do you have any advice for any other people that might be interviewing with Microsoft for a technical program manager role, as far as like how they can prepare?
Yes, the first advice I would give is, and I got this even before I got to Microsoft because I did a lot of this at Walmart. The advice I would give is you have to be able to share your skill set beyond the technical acumen of the role. And what I mean about that is you have to be able to get engineers to see the big picture because that's basically who you're going to be working with for the most part, day in and day out. So it's one thing to work with an engineer and the engineer is giving his objective and why something should be done this way or however that engineer feels it should be done. But there's another thing to getting the engineer to see it from a much broader view. And a lot of time you work with engineers, none against them. They see it the way they see it. And, it's up to you to get that engineer to really understand it from a much broader scope and not just so much of the writing code and the implementing of the code and scope. So that would be advice that I would give on that.
Awesome, awesome, Michael. So let me thank you, man. You pretty much hit all of my major questions and points. How you kind of went through that process.
Hmm.
How long it took, what it was like when you interviewed, and then after you interviewed, and then. So how long have you been on the job since you accepted the offer?
3 months. I started in November 15th, so I'm February 15th to be 3 months. So.
And so how's it going? Do you like what you're doing? Is it going good?
It's going quite well. It's actually a role, honestly, that I have been really thinking about doing for quite some time. I actually want to be a technical PM where I can actually, be more of the forefront, working with the different engineers, getting the different engineers to see, like I say, the objective not only for what's in front of us, but on down the road, as well as working with the different other PMs and the data scientists and that they have in the AI machine learning space where you're getting a broad perspective across the whole entire enterprise. It's not
Awesome.
so much of, well, let me just go and write this code, let me implement this code. It's more of, okay, if I'm involved with the code, it's more of a analysis of it and getting the developers to give some insight. Okay, what is this code actually doing? So, yeah, it's a role that I actually been really thinking about expecting to do for quite some time in my IT career. So it's been going quite well. So,
So let me ask one last question for those
hmm
people that might watch this video and say, I wonder if I could be there one day to get that kind of role. Can you give a little background on some of the other companies you worked for prior to this role, and what your job titles were in the past?
yeah. So my job title, because I was at Walmart before the prior to coming to Microsoft, I had a kind of split job title. I started in cybersecurity at Walmart. So my title was a cybersecurity engineer. Then I transitioned over into more of a software engineering role because I went back to that software engineering platform because on the HR technology side, they had this huge uh, HR web-based system that they're trying to implement and build within Walmart because they're trying to get everybody on one HR platform. So I went from a cybersecurity engineer to a software engineer. And as I continue with that role over on the HR technology side, I end up by rolling up splitting, half software engineer, half technical program manager due to I came with security background, I came with compliance background, which was some skill set that they needed over in that space. What I would share with anyone who's interested in a technical program manager role, uh, starting off as a software engineering role would be ideal because you're getting that exposure of the technical concept of the code and the different frameworks of that you're writing the code in and that you're going to be using, whether it's front end development, whether it's back end development, or it's a combination of both as full stack. That's kind of the foundation that you really get. You'll be getting when you actually go into that technical PM role. Because the thing is, once you go in that technical PM role, they expect you to be technical. They expect you to give advice from a technical perspective, whether developer know it or understand it or not. That technical PM, you're responsible of leading and guiding and getting and drawing everybody in on why you feel that this technical objective that you're presenting or the technical objective that you are being devil advocate about is good, bad, or ugly. So you're responsible for being that technical SME as that technical PM to get that project moving to the direction that they want that project to move.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, well, Michael, let me thank you again for taking the time out to share a little bit about your story, how things went, and even that advice, man. Really appreciate it. And thank you for coming to our event. And
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck in your career.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yeah, definitely stay connected.
Yeah, I would say thank you for actually introducing me to it because I hadn't heard of it until I got introduced to it by you. And once I got introduced to it by you, I said, okay. So my wife had got hired with Microsoft, so I know that okay, sooner or later I'm gonna have to either try and get hired with them or try and find something to the area that we're gonna be relocated to. So when you
Okay,
introduced me to HBCU Connect, I said, okay, I need to actually be a part of that and attend these events more, who I can network with and who I can reach
right,
out to
right.
possibly get myself,
In the
into the
door.
position that I am now with Microsoft. So thank you for introducing it. I think it's a great thing. You guys
Awesome.
keep doing what you're doing because it's
Appreciate it.
making a difference as well as a huge impact. So
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
yeah.
that. Where are you located?
So I'm currently located in Rogers, Arkansas now. I'll be relocating to Atlanta in June because I'll be
Okay, so you're
working
gonna
out
work
there
out of
at
there.
Atlanta. Yes,
Okay.
I'll be working out of the Atlanta office. Most of my team is in Redmond, but and that was another thing too that really just really drawed me to this opportunity because when I talked to the hiring manager, he was like, "Yeah, most of my team is in Redmond. I have some, in other areas, but I'm not gonna let that be a showstopper for you. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let the recruiter open up a rec in Atlanta just for you,
Oh, wow.
because yeah,
That's
so yeah." And after he
nice.
he presented it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is the opportunity for me. So
Slam dunk.
yeah, yeah, it was a
All
slam
right.
dunk. Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. Have a good weekend. I appreciate you taking
You
the time
too.
out and take care, man.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.